So when you're sewing on a button, make sure that you are sewing through 2 layers of fabric. You don't want to, you want the button to lay nice and flat. You don't want the fabric to be pulled or pinched. So it's really important that you kind of moderate the amount of tension and pressure. You also want to make sure that you're grouping the stitches very close together. And when we have a flat button such as this that doesn't have a shank on the back, we have to actually make one. So we're going to make a thread shank. And to do that, on the wrong side of the fabric, you are going to pin through. Okay? And it makes a little bit of a spacer. Perhaps I should also do that straight. And that is where you place the button on top of that spacer. You have 4 holes here, and I call that a little bridge. That little bridge goes right over the spacer. Okay? So you're going to go ahead on the wrong side of your fabric, come up. You're doing this with a double knot, with the thread, thread double knotted. So I'm going to go 1, it's like making a loop, completing a circuit. So coming up again, you want to come up the same hole that you did the first time. 2, 3. Now notice I'm not pulling it too tight and I'm going straight up and straight down. You want to make sure that those are really nice, secure, and that they're grouped in a very specific spot. You don't want them to be spaced out all over, because that'll make it very hard to make the shank. Okay. Up, down, and do that just a few more times. Okay, on the back side, it looks like this. Everything is nice and spaced. The loops are not loose. It's not all over the place. So you're going to move to the next set of holes. Oops. So I just come up. It's going to be right next to on the back side. So I come up, and again, this is just making that circuit. 1, 2. Just going straight up and then straight down. Got it secured. Looking at the back, you see how nice and clustered everything is. So on the you're going to do it like you're going to do 1 more set of stitches. But instead of going through the hole like we did, you're actually going to come out beside it. Beside those threads. So you can see there are the threads coming out beside. You're going to take the thread and you're going to wrap it around all those up and down threads. And you want to make sure it's tight, but you don't want to pull it so tight that it starts to seize the fabric up. Okay? And when you've done it really well, you'll see a solid core of threads. This has pulled all those threads nice and tight. It gives it a space so that you can button your shirt or whatever. So now that you've wrapped it, you're going to take the needle back through to the back side. Okay? And to finish it off, you're going to lift up some of your threads, and it makes this another loop. Take the needle through the loop, and you're going to do that 3 times. And that knots everything off and keeps it from unraveling in your hands. If you are sewing with a double thread and you see that you've got the threads separated, like you have more in one loop than the other, before you pull through, just redistribute that by pulling back, and that'll help to even all the threads out again. Otherwise, you'll get 2 different size loops. If you get a loop in your sewing, go ahead and separate the threads and give them a little bit of a tug. All right, let's do one more. Okay, and we're going to clip that. So you can see, there's the thread shank. All the threads are nice together. Fabric is laying flat. The button is raised up just a little bit on the back side. They're all nice and clustered, and it's finished off very well. Alright, there you go.